Hello, hello. I am back to help you do this thing called life. So, today's message is kind of connected to yesterday's because yesterday we talked about how even though you are not still in the world, we need, if we're going to win souls to Christ, if we're going to make a difference, then we have to be close enough to reach the people. So I said also, we got to know us. And you got to know when you can and when you can't. Even if it's seasonal. Even because there are sometimes I'm absolutely fine. And there are sometimes I'm like, oh, now is not the time for me to try that. So I suggest you. Okay? You know you. And ultimately, we've got to pray and we have to do what it takes to gain our deliverance and to keep it so that we can go back and help others. Because my pastor always says, what didn't kill you anoints you. So we have to get past our flesh so that we can do what we've been called to do. Okay. So anyway, but today, the accounts of this can be found in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, if I'm not wrong. And it's about the woman that anointed Jesus's feet. And the different accounts, as people view a situation, everybody takes something different from it. But in it's when Jesus had gone into a home and the woman came in. We assume, it didn't say, but we assume she was probably a prostitute or something of that nature. And she came in and washed Jesus's feet with her tears, dried them with her hair, anointed his feet, kissed his feet. And meanwhile, one of the people in there several of them were looking. In one account, Judas speaks up about why you using up that oil. We could have sold that. You don't sell no oil. And then in one, a man is standing there looking like he must not be a prophet like we think, or he would know who she is and what she does. And Jesus heard the man. Well, he rebuked Judas when Judas was talking to. But he heard the man, he heard his thoughts. And he said to him, I came in, you didn't do for me what she's doing for me. And then he talked about whoever's been forgiven the most is who loves the most. And y'all, it is so hard for me to stay out this woman's, to keep the focus on Jesus being a human, because I forgot to say that at the beginning. Our whole thing is looking at the humanity of Jesus, his emotions, his temptations, just the things that make him like us, his tendencies, all of that. So that's what I'm supposed to be focusing on. But this woman right here, Lord, just the love that she showed, that worship because of how he changed her life. It's hard for me not to talk about her. Because to be forgiven and to be loved, like he had to have shown her some type of love or compassion before this, for her to seek him out, for her to find him and to do what she did. But anyway, it's that whole thing of being close enough to reach the people, and not only close enough to reach them, but Jesus had to stand up for them. No, you're not going to do that. That's not what you're going to do. And he said, the one who has been forgiven the most is the one that loves the most. And he backed them off her. And I didn't do extensive study, but and I don't know if it's two different women, so forgive me. but it was the same type of thing. And the reason I say I don't know if it was two different women, because in one of them it actually says that it was Mary. They were at Lazarus's house and it was Mary. But the other one says, so that's why I'm thinking it may have been two different instances, because the other one says, I want to say they were at, and I'm sorry, I read it this morning. But I believe they were at Simon's house. I'm not certain, y'all. And I should have looked over it again quickly before I came to you. But at any rate, they were both women of ill repute, that Jesus had touched their lives. And those men had something to say about them. But Jesus stood up. He stood up for them. And so not only do we need to be close enough to reach, but we need to be willing to stand up for people as they're in that transition. To be able to say, no, give her space. Give her space. Let her come on into this thing. Let her do, because the love she had was so genuine, so pure, that it touched him. So yeah, y'all, we gotta reach the lost. And then we gotta be willing to love them all the way in. Love them all the way in. Faults, flaws, everything, because we all got them. Just, sometimes at churches or, being in a little bit longer, make you wear a little longer dress. Excuse me, I've seen some women of ill repute with some long dresses on too, so the dress don't stop it. None of that stuff stops it. People can speak one way at church and then go home and cuss like a sailor. So that isn't it. But when a person's trying and they're in transition, we owe it to them to be able to stand up and say, no. She wants what God has for her. She, he, whomever. But anyway, y'all, I don't want to ramble. This has been One More Minute with Marcy. I'll be back tomorrow with another moment of momentum producing motivation. Until then, stay encouraged. And remember, you got to flutter before you can fly. But flying is in your future.